happy Monday. I look a bit tired round the gills today. Basically, we've had high winds all night. Arthur is still outside. He went out about half an hour ago to stretch his legs. Miss Robin came in. But then it was probably about 5 o'clock-ish. I don't know because I was still half asleep and I didn't look to see what time it was. But Arthur and Miss Robin were chasing around the house. Now the thing is, you see, when the clocks go back in the winter, cats are cats. They don't realise that we change the clocks. So when it's 5 o'clock here in the morning, it's still 6 a.m. to them, and so on and so forth. So by 5 a.m. they've done all the sleeping that they want to do. They like sleeping during the day quite a lot, and then start chasing around at 5 a.m. or even earlier. So I'm feeling a bit tired today, and thank goodness the stormy sun has come out. I'm going to give Bubba his insulin now and then think about getting some breakfast. This is the sky look. It looks quite stormy today. You can hear the wind. And believe it or not, I'm out here looking for a lettuce. Believe it or not. Looks like there might be one here that we can pick. It's still quite a young lettuce, but I think that will do. They don't necessarily grow very large in the winter, but there's some leaves on that. So indoors we go. Merlin's outside now. Look, what a wreck. And next door have almost completely lost their awful fake astroturf type hedge. Look, they've got vegetation growing in their gutters. Right, finally I have my breakfast. There. A couple of tablespoons of Tim's Dairies live bio yogurt and half an organic apple. One of those that I had left over from the Riverford delivery. I'm going to eat this up. This is the sort of thing I usually have for breakfast. Occasionally I have porridge, maybe once or twice a week. Maybe once a week we might have buckwheat pancakes. But during the week I usually have yogurt. And with the apple, very nice it is too. And it's so gloomy outside and windy. Very high winds today. I'm going to cheer myself up by having a little dance around the kitchen. So I'll see you back at lunchtime. I've been doing some work all morning, mainly YouTube, Rumble, that sort of thing. So I'm going out now to post my cousin's birthday present. It's still blowing a hoolie out there. I'm not going to take my phone. It's not fit to have it out. So I'll be back shortly in time for my lunch. The cats have just been fed. Well, folks, that was a blustery one. It's very windy out there. It's not raining now, but the wind is high and it's cold. But it's damp more than the cold that really gets into the bones. The post office was almost deserted, apart from the postie who came with a delivery. He said he wasn't doing a collection yet. So this is what I have for my lunch. I have some homemade soup. There was a portion in the freezer. This is lentil soup. Dan also had some today for his lunch. It's got bits and pieces in. Nice red pepper. And then I have one of my homemade rolls, which is 5p, and the scrapings out of the Philadelphia tub. Oh, happy days, a 5p lunch. You can't beat that. Well, in an hour or so, I'm off for my piano lesson. And then later, I'll be thinking about the tea. It's another cheap meal tonight. A while back, I made some pasta sauce with a glut of homegrown tomatoes that we had. So that's not included in this budget. Then there's a couple of slices of bread, which is pennies because it's homemade, which I'll do with a little bit of garlic butter. And then some of the spaghetti we bought on Saturday with a little bit of Cathedral City grated cheddar cheese. So it's a very cheap meal, and I'll see you later. Well, I'm back from my piano lesson. It was good to see my teacher Jake at the start of the new term. We discussed mainly technique, so I didn't do a huge amount of playing, but I'm studying the works of Ludovico Einaudi, but he does also very stretchy notation. And one of the pieces I'm learning at the moment is Life, and there's quite a complex stretchy thing in triplets towards the last third of the piece. It's a 6-page piece. So we were looking at finger positions which might be able to help me. The problem I have with my piano, the one I have at the moment, is some of the keys get a bit sticky. Even though Dan has carried out some repairs, I think I need a little more tweaking done. There's a bit of bobbling still. But I think I will just have to live with it and try and work through it. And maybe the more I practice, the firmer my touch and the easier the keys will sound. We looked at probably 3 or 4 other pieces as well, just to help to keep me motivated. We both agreed that another piece would be good added to my repertoire. So Jake and I looked through some of the pieces I have and found 3 or 4. So it's a matter of looking at each of them this week and seeing which one I fancy doing. One of the pieces has 5 flats, so you've got B flat, D flat, E flat, G flat and A flat, which is a challenge. I haven't played any pieces yet that have that many flats in them, so that might be an interesting project. I'll see which one resonates with me the most though and give it a shot, and carry on with going over the other pieces I have to practice in my repertoire. I'm having a cheeky homemade donut, one of my little mini donuts out of the freezer, and a cup of tea. Then a sit down with the cats, who are a little boisterous again to say the least, having been sleeping for most of the day, and then think about getting the supper ready. I've managed to complete quite a few tasks today, and I've managed therefore to cross a couple of tasks off my to-do list. So for Monday, it's been a busy one despite my tiredness, and I've achieved a lot, so I'm feeling really happy. This one's a jam donut, yum. Whenever I take a donut out of the freezer, it's always a nice surprise. I didn't mark them up and put them in different bags. Everything just went in the same bag. Yumbo. I really haven't had enough drinks today either. I have had some water, but I went all morning even without a cup of tea or coffee. I had a cup of tea at lunchtime and now I'm having another cuppa. So I need to have some more water in a bit to stay hydrated. Remember, even in the winter months, we need to make sure that we're drinking enough fluids. We need to feel on top of things during the winter months. Don will be home from work soon, so I'd better get on with the tea. But the first thing I'm going to do is soak some apricots. I had 3 packets from Iceland for a £5. Normally they were £2 each. So I'm going to put these to soak overnight, and then tomorrow I can cook them up and make a compote. This is one of my favourite things to do when I don't have loads of fruit in the house, just to give myself a little bit of variety. It's a very popular dish in Ukraine. I'll put the name up above, but this is the recipe. Normally you'd use maybe 200 grams of mixed dried fruit. This is all I have. There's 140 grams of apricots in this packet. If you had 200 grams of dried fruit, you'd soak them in 3 litres of water overnight. Well, I have 140 grams and I'm going to soak them in about 2 litres of water overnight. This is a big old 2+ litre jug. It's proper vintage. So I'm going to put them in here and top the jug up with 2 litres of water. That then will stand overnight, and tomorrow we will cook them up. So it says the apricots are heart healthy. These are also nice added to rice dishes, and you can also add them to sweet desserts as well, such as cake or rice pudding. They're extremely versatile and rich in potassium, which we all need as part of not only a healthy diet but a strong immune system. Here I have my jar of home sprouted seeds. It's a mixture of alfalfa, mung and rose radish. These are ready now. I'm going to rinse them thoroughly through some fresh spring water and then dry them on some paper towel or a new clean J cloth, and then put them into a container, and I'll use these from tomorrow onwards. But I'm going to make a bit of salad to go with our supper this evening. This is our spaghetti, which we bought on Saturday from Farm Foods. I've got a good bunch of spaghetti here. There's just over 150 grams here. That should be enough for the 2 of us. It'll provide a nice hearty supper for us, with some homemade garlic bread at a few pence for the 2 slices. Call it 6p. And a bit of leftover garlic butter from the butter I made before Christmas. And I'm going to make a nice PUTANESCA sauce. So I am jazzing up my homemade tomato sauce with a chopped onion, a few olives, some capers and a good pinch of Aleppo chili flakes. The onion's about 10 pence. I'm bringing a large pan of water with a little salt and olive oil to the boil, and we can put the pasta in. The onions are getting nice and translucent. I'm going to add the Aleppo chilli and give it another stir. They're doing really well now. You can see all the flecks. I'm going to put in some of my tomato sauce. Here it is. I just need to make sure everything is piping hot. I'll add the olives and the capers towards the end. We very lightly toasted this bread and I spread it with my homemade butter, and now I'm going to put it in the microwave on the oven setting for a few minutes and it'll be ready. I've added the capers and black olives. Here it is, look. Spaghetti all strained and the sauce now mixed through the spaghetti, and I'll serve this baby up.
Put a bit of cheese on there. This looks very nice. Okay.
It's not dainty food.
No. It's very nice. I like the capers in it and the
Do you?
olives and things.
That's pasta puttanesca.
Lovely. Very nice.
Excellent. So that's another day of meals, and I am going to prepare Dan muesli, an overnight muesli with some yoghurt and blueberries for his breakfast tomorrow, and I'll see you tomorrow for more recipes and day 3 of the challenge. So bye for now.